Do you want to support me while also getting some cool WWE swag? Well, now you can, because I am an affiliate of WWEshop.com. Just head to the link in the description of this video, click that little bad boy, and it will bring up WWE Shop. Purchase as normal, whether it's shirts, whether it's championship titles, whether it's memorabilia, anything you want on WWE Shop, as long as you use my link, because doing so will give me a commission off your purchase. Therefore, you can support me and rep the WWE's latest swag all throughout their shop. So just head to the link in the description of this video, purchase as normal, and you're also supporting me.
Hello. We're back.
Yeah.
I tried to get in first. Everything.
You did.
My internet should be okay today.
Don't fucking say that, Ray. Well, although I will say, behind the scenes, I have taken over hosting things I did last week, and I feel like it did work better.
Yeah, it did. But also this week, me and my darling girlfriend are the only ones home at the moment.
Best friend.
So, yeah, your best friend. We're the only ones home at the moment, so there's not everything on the internet all at once.
You'll be fine then. This will be crystal clear. There's going to be none of that awkwardness where sometimes I'm talking and then Rafe doesn't think that I've started talking and he keeps talking and then we talk over the top of one another because I'm like, well, I've got to fill air.
And there's also no sooking 4-year-old down there this week as well. So
what a legend, though. That was the first time I had, I guess you could say, met Rory.
Yeah, he was having a moment last week, but just as I got on here, he FaceTimed me. So I was like, I just had to give you like the one finger because I couldn't hear you.
But I looked and I was like, what the fuck? He's like talking. I'm like, is he talking to? And then I'm like, all right, it's the legend himself.
Yeah, exactly. I think first things first, announcement during the week, I've had to wear a special bit of clothing.
Yes.
Because Josh is the newest member of the project team alongside me and a gaggle of other people. There is a few of us. I didn't know what group name to go with. There's so many good ones.
Sure.
We're not the same as the Ravens.
No.
No, we're all very kind. We're not unkindness. We're not... Well, it's kind of Crows related, but we don't want to be called a murder.
No, no one wants to be referred to as a murder.
No. That's the worst group name, I reckon. Surely.
Yeah, it's not awesome. I don't really think there's a nice way to say a murder of something.
A murder of crows. I think the unkindness of ravens is pretty cool. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, I don't know what it means. We're not going to pretend that I know what stuff means after last week, but...
Is it a flock of bats?
Fuck off.
So, yeah, newest member of the project team. You got... it was announced yesterday, I guess. It must have been bubbling away in the background. I think... what you'll notice about me with the project is I'm very unaware of things just through my own obliviousness. So we'd spoken about it once or twice, but yes, it got announced yesterday. So I guess, well, I don't know if I'm the right person to say welcome aboard, but I think everyone else has. Welcome to the chaos.
Yes, thank you. I actually owe you more of a thank you than you are probably aware of, because I actually think it was you, maybe not intentionally, that kind of got people from the upper echelons of the Crojet, if you want to say that, eyes on me. So, I guess thank you, weirdly, even if it, again, wasn't intentional. But I think us doing this and then kind of certain people seeing this and then going, wait a fucking minute. But no, it's pretty cool. It had been bubbling on the surface for a while. I had to keep tight-lipped for like 2 months, basically from the original kind of outreach of Peter, who's been on this show, and kind of said, "Hey, what are you doing? You want to maybe hang around with us a little bit?" And just kind of ironing out the kinks of being like, what can I add? What can I do? Is there something that you guys want and stuff like that? But in typical, I guess I'll learn this more, but from what I know from people within the Crowjet, in typical Crowjet fashion, it kind of come together. It was talked about for a while, but come together very like last minute of like, this is what's happening. Do you want to do this? Cool if you don't. Cool if you do. And I was like, yeah. So I guess by the time you hear this, it'll be a few days since the announcement went out. But it was pretty neat. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've sung the praises of the Crowjet a bunch on here, and I've done it on social media and stuff like that. You guys do pretty good stuff. So just to be in that gang is kind of cool. And then, just kind of welcomed with open arms, which is nice. I mean, it's not like I didn't know 85% of the people anyway, and I had already been like kind of made myself familiar with these people anyway, so it wasn't like meeting a bunch of whole, but there's some people that I'm not familiar with, and I'm like I've never met you, you may hate me, but yeah, so
there's
just gonna
no one like that in the Crowjet. The Crowjet
yeah,
I felt the same way, because I'll tell you a little funny story. I don't know if anyone from the Crowjet really knows that this happened, but it's all good now, I guess. So the way that I got to know the Crowjet was I went to the Australian Radio School with former member of the Crowjet and still part of the family, Damon. We met through there. I started listening to the Crowjet, being a Crows fan, and liked it because it's a fun time. Then I sort of hit Peter up, got to messaging through like Patreon or whatever. Got to messaging with Peter and was like, oh, I'm around the place sort of thing. I want to see how you guys operate, because I was trying to get into that sort of world, and came on and was on one episode and was an absolute... I was just myself, I guess.
So a shitstorm.
Yeah. And then I helped with their draft special that Damon was doing at the time. And just went from there. And I just said to Peter, sort of like, anything you need, I'm happy to help out. I really enjoy, like, we were after a walk and talk one time. I was like, anything whatever, just hit me up. It's fine. And then a message went out to all of their Patreons or whatever, saying, new year, we've got a few new co-hosts, and I was one of the names. I was like, oh, guess I'm one of the co-hosts now. And then I got added to all the chats. I was like, okay, let's run with this. And then, this year happened. Last year happened, sorry. And now I feel like I fit in way too easily, probably at the detriment of the Crowjet.
No, don't be like that. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, I guess, I don't really. I mean, it's. I don't know. It's. Put it this way. I don't mean this in a negative way or not, but it's intimidating to come into a group like this. Like, it's going to take me a minute to find my feet, because I'm just kind of like, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I don't want to be like, or anything like that. But me and Peter have had conversations and stuff. I think what he recognizes about me is just my commitment, I guess, to like, especially the social media scene, and just kind of being like, this is what I'm doing, and I'll stop at no means to just continue down my path and whatever. So I think that's the thing most, that he's like, I'm excited to have you on board. And then obviously it's not a secret. I'm very much a massive Crows fan. So like, it's going to be just cool just to like chinwag about that when I am on and stuff like that. And, there's logistic things that we had to work out, because it's not like I'm just 5 minutes away and can be on a show all the time. But, there's other ways to do that. And I'm in a spot where I just kind of understand where I am in the world. I have to kind of make some sacrifices and stuff like that, which I will do. But yeah, so it's cool. I don't really know what else to say. It was just, I got a lot of love on social media. Everyone was like, cool. And then I seen one comment on Facebook and I was like, oh no. And someone was like, is that the little dude on TikTok? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? People know what? I was like, no, don't know me from TikTok, please, for the love of God. So yeah, I was like, oh God. But yeah, got a lot of love, which was kind of nice. Stroked my ego a little. It's always nice. And then yeah, it was finally cool to just see it like out there. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to like tiptoe around this subject anymore. I can kind of just be like, yeah, I am doing stuff, and we'll see how it pans out, I guess, over the coming weeks, months, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. It's an exciting year for the project. I think it's going to be big things this year. Here's a question before I press go on the number.
Jesus fucking Christ. If you're not watching on YouTube, guys, Ray just fucking died.
That was intimidating.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Hang on a second.
Ray has passed away. Well, not live, but I mean live for me. It's pretty cool to see, I guess.
So for those of you not watching on YouTube, I've set up my microphone hands-free this week. Usually I'm holding the stand. I've set it, and now I've got my hands free. I'm so fidgety that I'm knocking everything.
Ray's like, what's that thing where it's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Ray's just like, he's literally, if you're not watching on YouTube, I can ad-lib. He threw a basketball just now because he's just got so much to do with his hands.
I'm actually like, if you are watching it, I've got this little like Velcro strap that goes around my microphone cable. And I've just been fiddling it with it the whole time, and it's knocked my light off of my computer. So now I've had to move it so I look a little bit different again.
Sick.
Here's a question that I got before you. While we're talking about stuff like this, you mentioned your commitment. What do you think successful people have in common? What is it that sets extremely successful people apart? Because I've thought about this a bit lately because, like, we've spoken about them a million times.
Break the fucking light again.
I just did. Let's see if it works over here. That just makes me look. Is that all right?
You look a little flushed out. I'm not going to lie. Well,
it's better here.
It looks like you're standing. You know when you stand on top of a light and it gives you that weird shadow, and you're looking a little creepy. That's better.
Yeah.
Leave it there. Don't fucking touch it.
I can't touch the table, so I'm going to have to sit on my hands or something. So it's no secret lately that we both love the We Mean Well podcast, and Jarch and Lou, who are reasonably successful on TikTok. Jarch went to uni with the guys from the Hello Sport podcast, which I love. And they also went to uni with, I think they went to uni, but they're all in the same group of friends with a guy named Luke Bracey, who's been in Marvel movies and all these movies sort of thing. And sort of like everyone in their group of friends, in their own way, not all together, has sort of become successful in what they've done in sort of a media outlet, like, you know, podcast, TikTok, social media, and movies, And I'm like, how does that happen? Like, what is it that they've got that makes them so successful? Is it a mindset? Is it, we're getting deep here, I know, but is it just a work ethic?
No, it's, Ray, I think you're a creature of your own environment. You know, success breeds success. People are sheep in a sense. I don't mean that in a bad way, but like you follow. You're like, oh my God, that person that I'm with all of the time is doing this stuff. Like, how do I do that? You just kind of, it's just you're a creature of the environment, the company that you keep. You know what I mean? Like you always have people around you that you always choose to surround yourself with people. The people that you surround yourself, you kind of, not intentionally sometimes, emulate.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, wait a minute. If that person can do it and we're on a cool, we have a cool relationship, why can't I do that? So I feel like that's just kind of, it's not like you see, how do I don't know I really don't know how to say what I'm thinking, but it's just, you don't really see people like mingle that aren't kind of in that similar. I'm not saying everyone has to do the same thing and take the same path, but you just kind of, a lot of people lead by example without even realizing it. It's a trickle effect. It's a domino effect.
Yeah, right. Because I'm like, I definitely could get there. I for sure could get there. I believe that I could get there one day. But it's like,
Me too.
what sets them apart? Like, why have they done it already and I haven't? And maybe it's a work ethic thing. Maybe it's a commitment thing. Maybe it's a willingness. Like, maybe I've just like dipped my toe in without going fully in. Do you know what I mean? Like, not going, fuck it. Like, I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm posting whatever I want instead of going, no one wants to hear what I want to post. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. I completely understand where you're coming from in that. I used to be a lot more like that, like, ooh. But now I'm just like, whatever. I'm just, I don't know. If you follow me on social media, people, you know that I'm just in a mindset lately that hasn't gone away. I thought it'd be like a couple of, fuck off. Like it'll be like a few days and I won't care again. It has been a while now. And I'm just kind of like in the mindset of like, this is my time to do this. It's now or never for me. I've never been more motivated and committed and just ready to just like make so many sacrifices in my own life just to make things work for me. I don't care how like it's perceived of like that'll never happen or like it's the likelihood of that happening is so slim. I don't care. I like those odds. I've always kind of fought against the grain and kind of been my own person anyway. So why the fuck if people, all over the world are like, it's not even about being like known. It's just about making what I do, whether it's podcasting, streaming, content, whatever comes under that bubble, just being a personality. Why can't that be what I do for a living? Like, why? It's the only thing I've ever felt that I've been good at.
Yeah,
like truly, I truly mean that. Like, it's like it's the only thing I'm confident of being like, I'm talented in this space. Why not me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when people say why you, it's like, well, why not? Why not
exactly.
me?
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm getting at. I'm like, I know I could do it. It's just like, why? Like, this is, I feel like this show is as good as any. Like, do you know what I mean?
I agree.
But I think this year, I think if we knuckle down together, we can really make some waves this year, I think.
Yeah, and we're both in the same mindset, Ray, of just like, we will make sacrifices where we need to be like, let's put this first and kind of and try and do something with it. And we know we're not fucking stupid. We understand it doesn't just happen overnight.
No.
As it's perceived to the public of when shows or whatever music blows up overnight. I'm like, that's not, again, sometimes sure it's true, but that's not necessarily true. People grind for a long time. Like I know that even by just stepping into the Crojet world, that I'm going to have people that have never seen me before in that space when I've been doing this since 2017. So, in some way, shape or form of some kind of content. So I understand that stepping into that space of like, oh, there's going to be more eyes on me than there ever has been. And that's neat. It's cool. It's kind of, I posted something on social media of just like, and I know it comes across as braggy because, it just comes with the territory, but like, I kind of listed a bunch of stuff that I've done and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like I always say, like, I'm going to do this and I want to be this and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I've done a bunch of cool stuff and I continue to do a bunch of cool stuff. And it's like, well, I did that and I never thought I'd be able to do it. So why can't I, like, who's to say that I can't do that? And like, again, I've posted stuff more to like my, I don't mind posting on social media kind of anywhere, but my personal Facebook that I don't really post a lot about that kind of stuff, and I kind of like been putting a little bit more on that, and people are kind of like asking me about it in person, and then I'm getting less and less afraid, or I guess ashamed would be the word, of saying like, yeah, that's what would I would like to do that.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is for me as well. I've never really thought about it like that, but I'm not a big like self promoter at all.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm hesitant to tell people about it. Whereas, I just sort of hope people find it, sort of thing, which doesn't
Yeah.
really work.
No. It doesn't.
Yeah, so that's right. We'll get there together, won't we?
Yep, we will, and we're gonna. We joke a lot, off the camera and off air, but like of being like, oh, I'd love to do this, and I'd love to do like live shows one day, and I'd like to like, actually have like a following out of it, and I think the ultimate goal is always going to be, not that it always, but I mean, we want to do shows in person, and we've been trying to work some stuff out and stuff like that, because I just think it'll be, I mean, it's just going to be a different vibe and a different atmosphere. But we've talked about stuff, and me and you kind of know where we're at in terms of mindset of being like, this isn't, yes, it's fun. And we were always just, as long as we're having a good time. Like, I don't think you or I would ever do this if we were just like, I fucking hate doing this. Like, I genuinely look forward to a Wednesday night when we record. I'm like, oh, it's podcast day.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Same.
So I feel like we're in the same mindset of just like, well, why can't it be us?
I reckon mark this year down. I reckon
2024, eh?
I think I've said it. What's this, episode 18 maybe of this?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've said every time, but I'm going to get more active on social media, but I think I really need to. It's
a new year, Ray.
New year, new me. Let's press go on this number before I start saying other cringy. Number 29, the Dos Laird number, Rory Laird.
My favorite. Did you know that's my favorite Crows player?
Well, he's always in the background, so I assumed.
Yeah, he hangs out over. Well, you can't see it on camera now because I've changed my layout, but he's over there somewhere, but it's just off camera. But you can see. Can you see right there? It's like a little football right there. I don't know if you can make it.
The corner of a little football. Number 29. What's something you've drawn inspiration from recently? That is a good question.
It is. Something I've drawn inspiration from recently. I guess we mentioned it before, but we might have the same answer.
We mean well?
Yeah.
I enjoy them, and I'm like, I can definitely tell, like, that could definitely be us. Or, like, I could do something like that. But mine's... So there's a couple of people that I draw my inspiration from when it comes to this sort of thing. And the main one is the guys from Hello Sport, who are the friends of Jarch from Wheat Being Well, and they're two mates that went to uni together, and like I've heard their story 100 times. I listen to them twice a week, as often as I can. If it's 3 times a week, I'll listen to it 3 times a week. But they're two mates that met in uni, started a podcast together, and for 3 years grinded their asses off producing content, and they were getting 30 listens a week. 30 listens a week for 3 years. And they were just like, it was their friends listening and stuff, but they were like, your friends will only listen for a certain amount if it's not good. So there's got to be something there. And they just kept working away. And then one time they got a guy came on there through a friend, like an ex-NRL star, who just said, ask me about this. And they were like, oh, are you sure? he said, "Yep, ask me about it," and then just unloaded. And news articles were picking it up because it was a big story. And they were like, "Can we have a comment to this guy?" And he's like, "Nah, Hello Sport exclusive." And then their shit just blew up, and now they're both full time. They've got employees. They're just crushing it with KO, with everyone doing shows and stuff like that on there. And it's like they went through 3 years of just absolutely grinding with 30 listens a week. And I'm like, that's more inspirational to me than like where I'm like, we've like, between the two of us through the different stuff that we do, there's a little bit of a follow in there. And I know the people I've seen interact with your stuff online are very loyal to the stuff that you do. They like you. And the Project people, God love them, are very loyal to anything that I've done. So it's like, we've got that start. We just need to keep grinding. That's where I've drawn my inspiration from recently and continue to do, because every time I'm just like, they had 30 listeners for 3 years. And then all it takes is one thing.
Yeah, whoa. I don't know why that hit me in a way of just like, wow. Yeah, I kind of sometimes look at the stuff that I've done and I don't really see it in a sense of like, wait a minute, other people can see people following me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've never really thought about it that way because I'm always just like, I always am so self-critical of what I do. I'm like, no one wants to watch what I'm doing. And like, oh my God, this stream only had 3 people here for some of the time. And this stream, 2 days ago, I may have had 20 people. But then I just focus on like, I didn't really do great in that one. But one person watching what you do or listening to what you do, I'm like, wait a minute, I've captivated that person's attention, that one person.
Yeah.
But I've never really thought of it in a way of like, wait a minute, people are loyal to what I do. And it's not even like necessarily, well, obviously they have to be watching or listening to my stuff or whatever because it's somewhat okay, but they're supporting me as a person because I have a good track record with stuff that I'm doing. And like rain, hail or shine, I am committed to what I do. Like I will make the most of anything that I do. Even if it's fucking terrible, I will try my hardest to sell you that shit. Like I really will. And I've worked really, really hard. Like I know it may not seem that way sometimes. Like he's just goofing around. He's just doing a podcast. He's just playing video games on a thing. He's just creating, videos and whatever. Yeah, sure. There is an element of that that's true. It is just goofing around and it is just fun. But like, you don't see all the stuff that I do to make that happen smoothly. You don't see all the stuff that I do that I really bust my ass and spend countless amount of hours on doing all of this stuff to make sure that I can present the best stuff that I can. It's there's been moments of like, ugh, shouldn't have done that. That was terrible. Or there's been moments of like, lots of people are paying attention to what I do. No one's paying attention to what I do. But then there's been moments of just being like, I don't think I can ever convey the emotion I had when 2K Sports reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to be flown to Sydney by 2K as a guest of 2K to go to their headquarters and play a game early? Like in my brain, the person who started streaming in 2018, I never ever thought that the thing I love probably more than I will ever love in this world, and that's professional wrestling, like truly, I never thought that I would be able to do something I love so much as I do with those video games that I've played for years and years and years and years and years, as long as I can remember, being like, holy shit, that's not something that everybody, even if I only ever get to do it once, that's not something that everybody gets to do. Without saying too much, Ray knows what I'm alluding to, but at the end of this month, I'm going to know something else that truly I never thought that would ever happen. And I can't say too much more now, but I'm like 99% sure that at the end of this month, I'm going to be able to tell you guys something that's like, for every person that ever said like, ooh, why are you posting that on Facebook, or what, that's never going to happen for you. Just stick to stacking shelves. I'm be like, well, fuck you, man, because I actually put a lot of work in over these last 6 or 7 years. And now I get to do something that very select people will ever get to do. So, um, again, I know it sounds like I'm bragging. It's not meant to sound like a brag. I'm not trying to sound cocky. It's just meant to be like, I've busted my fucking ass to even get an opportunity like working with people like the Crowjet.
Yeah.
Like, I busted my butt.
Yeah. I think, I know what you're talking about. And yeah, it's, I'm sure it's an anxious wait, but
You have no idea.
If it comes to fruition, got every finger and toe crossed for you. But
yeah, yeah,
we'll discuss that later. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, back to the question. That's where I've drawn my inspiration from, and you know what? In a way, they're the most relatable that I can get to someone with my same mindset in the media, if you know what I mean. And it's not even the media, it's just sort of where I want to be. Because you've got, if there's one thing, actually, I was listening to something before. Actually, I was watching a TikTok before of someone who was doing a live stream of Monday Night Raw. Now, we both love professional wrestling. And I hate when people dedicate a channel to something around whatever it is, and all they do is complain about it. Because are you really even a fan? How can you have a fan page, or like, if everything that happens is just, you're just uber critical of it, and you're complaining about it, and you're turning your nose up at about it, and it's like, whatever, I'm just skipping that video. Whereas these guys from Hello Sport, yeah, they grinded for 3 years. They're 30 listeners. But at the end of the day, they're just a bit like me. They're just guys who love to talk, love to entertain people, and they're not, set in one little thing. They're not uber negative of anything. Their whole motto is that they are unqualified opinions and unwavering bias. So they don't care that they don't know what they're talking about. They don't care that they're not an ex-pro. They don't care that they have a team that they support and they support them. They just talk and have fun and entertain people and really be like an outlet for people, I guess. So, yeah, that's where I've drawn my inspiration from. I don't know if you've got a different one.
Well, no, I don't know if it's necessarily like one singular person or like one singular thing. It's just, I don't know. I draw inspiration from bits and pieces from so many things, of just taking elements and stuff like that. I just think it's cool to see people, I don't know, just doing what they want to do, whatever that may be. It doesn't really necessarily matter what you want to do, as long as you're doing what you want to do. I think that's kind of neat. I work in a space where I get to see people do what they wanted to do since they were a child. Yeah. And that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty neat to be able to like look at people and being like, wow, no matter what happens, you're doing exactly what you set out to do. And I feel like maybe it's just me being like, I know what you're going to say, Ray. You're not old. And I'm not old. But when you do hit a certain age, you kind of go, well, how much time do I have left? How much time have I got to... How much time have I really got to do this? Do I want to be chasing this like unobtainable goal at whatever? And I'm not saying I'm not racing against. I'm really not. I'm honestly not. But you just get to a certain point in your life where you're just like, well, what if it isn't now? Then when is it? Because I've gone like up and down with this for so long, and it's like it's again the only thing that I truly felt like I've ever been great at, where I'm just naturally, this is exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like if something happened tomorrow and they said you can make money off of this and be stable as a full-time income, I would drop everything in my life to make that happen. I'm not even joking. I would, if a person called me and said, this is what we need you for, and we need you to be in Zimbabwe, I would do it. And that's not a joke. I would do anything to make it happen. I am not tied down to anything. I have got myself to worry about. And as not getting all deep and gross and yuck with my feelings, as tough as that can be sometimes, it's also a huge blessing that sometimes I didn't even realize there's a blessing. Like, I only have me to worry about and Giddy, but but other than that, I've got nothing holding me to where I am. There's nothing surrounding me to have barriers of being like, well, this. It all comes down to what I want to be doing and the financial status to be able to do it.
Yes, that's the thing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. No, I totally get you though with the time thing, because the older I get, the more I'm going up against a lot younger people. So that's all right. We'll get there. I have another question. It's settle an argument time. Now, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to try not to tell you whose side's what, because I know you're going to take your best friend's side.
Yeah, obviously.
But who do you think is the bigger artist with a bigger following? Taylor Swift?
Oh, fuck me. I knew Taylor Swift was going to be this.
Pink.
Okay, I want you to lay out some things for me before I make my answer.
Yep, do it.
So you're saying a bigger following.
So like,
are you talking success, money, fans, sales?
What are we
talking?
I'm talking like if they were both to set a concert on the same day, who's selling out quicker, who's selling out bigger, who's first?
Okay, there's conditions with this. Where is the concert taking place?
Well, like, it's going to be in the same city on the same night, and whoever sells the most tickets goes to the biggest stadium.
In 2024, it's Taylor Swift.
By a country mile.
Yeah. But purely for longevity, Pink is just by... Actually, I didn't even think when you look at it even statistically, Pink has even touched Taylor.
No.
Taylor Swift is like the biggest, I think, easily the biggest female, I hate saying fucking female and male, but female artist of all time, I think. She has to be in the conversation of being one of the most successful artists ever.
Yeah.
And we talk about fucking Taylor Swift every week on this fucking show. Fuck.
Who do you think's got the broadest?
Well, the broadest shoulders?
No, the broadest like reach. So like the biggest range of fans.
It's Taylor but I think that like older mum generation, Pink has down packed.
Yeah,
everyone's mum loves Pink.
Yeah, but
not everyone's mum loves Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but everyone's younger sister or younger brother or niece or nephew or
I don't want to say Taylor, but I think it's pretty obvious that it's Taylor Swift. Sorry, best friend.
Told you.
Sorry, bestie. I still love you, bestie. Ugh. But yeah, it's Taylor, unfortunately.
I was supposed to ask you that last week because we were having that discussion while watching the Eras tour.
Of course.
So I was supposed to bring it up last week.
What was that? The first time you were watching it, the second, or the third playthrough? Which one was that?
I think it was on the second. And She just messaged me after I yelled out, "Told you." She just said, "Hang on, I got to get a message up."
Yeah, we got to read this live.
It says, I don't know if you can see that.
I can't. But
it says, "You're both wrong."
Well, I'm sorry. But it is. But yeah, I will say that I did message I did message Ray this week, willingly listening to a Taylor Swift song in the car. So that's great. And I found myself bobbing along to it. It was that The Man song. So I was like, oh,
that's a bop. That's why.
Yeah, I was having a good time with it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I was meant to ask you last week when we finished recording, your best friend said, "Did you ask him?" And I said, "Oh, nah, I forgot. Sorry. I have to bring it up next week." Because, yeah, I didn't want to make this a full Taylor Swift show.
Again.
Again.
But yeah, sorry, bestie. But I'm excited. I get to see you guys this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm looking
I can't
forward
wait.
to dinner.
Me too. I was looking. So my fat ass was like, I'm going to look at the menu to like have a little. I've never been to where we're going.
Yeah.
So I was like, have a look at the menu, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be so fucking fat by the end of this.
It's good, and it's like walking distance to where we're going afterwards. So
we're off to the basketball this weekend, guys.
Yeah, so go to dinner, walk off whatever we eat, and get our way over to the basketball, which will be a good time.
My first basketball game. I'm losing my basketball virginity, I guess you could say.
Yeah, popping your basketball cherry.
Yeah, why not?
Basketball's a good time. It's a good fun thing to watch. The NBL does it good. NBA is pretty good. But I mean, I haven't seen the best of games, but
I just feel like the atmosphere will be cool. Of course, because my family have to fucking stalk me, they're also going to that game.
Are they?
Yes, my mom, my stepdad, and my little brother, they're like, are you at the basketball this weekend? I'm like, yeah, I'm going with my friends. And they're like, we're going to the basketball. I'm like, for fuck's sake, leave me alone. Leave me alone. But they've got like, they're fancy. They've got like courtside fucking...
Oh man, maybe you should bash them for their seats.
Like, it's like so annoying. So like, because I had my younger brother's my half brother. So there was three. I have two, an older brother, a younger sister, and a half brother. But we all grew up, us three together. We never got to go to things like that because it would be too expensive. But now mom and my stepdad and my little brother can just do shit because there's just three of them. I'm like, get wrecked. We would have to go and like watch it fucking from the outside. Like we wouldn't even be able to get tickets to go in.
Oh gosh, you should wait. You wait till you wait till there's grandkids around. Then it goes up another level.
Could imagine. Which I don't think I'm going to be having any grandkids.
I stopped myself. I went to say wait till you have kids.
I seen where you went because I mean I'd have to have a pretty conscious decision to have a child. But yeah, it's going to be interesting when my sister has kids with my brother-in-law because like what the fuck? Because my mum will just cherish those little things too. So we'll just be like the forgot. I'll be like, I'm over here. Yeah, I'm over here, mum. You want to take me to the basketball? This fucking bitch. My mum spent New Year's weekend staying at Glenelg in a freaking fancy hotel with my stepdad and my younger brother. And then they went to the Big Bash. They got to watch all the fireworks and everything like that. And I'm like, I stayed home, played GeoGuessr with one friend on Sunday night for New Year's. So, you know, that's fucking awesome. Fucking hell, Mum.
Me and your best friend made up a little cheese platter and watched Big Bash on the couch. Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. Just a cheese platter, or did you make your famous dessert platter as well.
Nah, just a cheese platter. The dessert platter would have attracted too many of the kids into the lounge room. So,
Yes,
yeah.
gotcha.
So,
Of course, you don't want to.
just the cheese platter for us, and sat back and watched the Big Bash and got through to midnight just.
Oh, me too. I watched the fireworks from my front veranda with my friend, and we were like, by midnight, just like, it's time. As soon as that last one went off, I was like, I'm going to bed. Good night.
We're close enough to the beach to hear the fireworks, but not in a spot where we can see them.
Oh, both for me. I could hear and see them, and then I heard all the fucking people letting off firecrackers and illegal fucking fireworks and all that crap, right through until about 2 a.m. So that was kind of fun. But I was pretty much asleep. I woke up like once, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I was back at work on the 2nd, so that felt illegal. But anyway, back to it, I guess.
Yeah, one day, Ray. One day.
One day.
One day.
Trying to think what else is happening. There was something else that I was.
It's a we're gearing up. We go to Perth in like a
too soon for the amount of planning that we've done.
We'll get to Perth. We will get there.
I looked up how long it would take to drive there the other day.
Oh, me too.
Today.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was like, should we drive? Then I was like, we shouldn't drive. I don't think we would be going too well.
No, I was like, maybe we just drive. And then I looked it up. I was like, maybe we don't just drive.
Yeah, because it will take us a few days to
it
get
was
there.
Like 26 hours or something.
And then I was like, by the time we pay for all of that, we may have well just got in a plane.
Yeah, because I was like, maybe we go early because for everyone playing the home game, we've left it a bit late and the flights have climbed. And I was like, maybe we go earlier and try to get cheaper flights. But then I'm like, well, we have to pay for an extra night of hotel. So you might as well just pay for the flights.
We're just gonna bite the bullet and do it. But yeah, listen, I don't think we're gonna regret it at the end of the time. But she's rough at the moment. But we'll figure it out. We'll get there.
Because we both love. Let's just have some wrestling chat here as well, because why not? We've every Monday Night Raw or SmackDown that goes past, your best friend keeps going, oh, I should have just come with you guys. I'm so jealous. She's not the biggest wrestling fan, but she's like, she watches it with me and then gets a little bit hooked onto storylines or characters or, So now she's like, oh, God, I wish I came. But yeah, so everyone goes past because it's really good at the moment. And do you know how I know it's really good? That week off they had felt like a month without wrestling because I got to yesterday. So bad.
I got to yesterday. I was at work all day and I'm like, I cannot wait to get home and just watch wrestling.
Yeah.
Like I was like just hauling ass to get home to just be like, I just want to be on my couch and I just want to watch this. I don't know. I know they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, but like I was roaring for it. Like I was roaring. I was like ready to watch and like I just sat there and was just like, which is cool because that love I have not had that love since I was like much younger, much younger. It's cool. It's a good feeling. So I feel like we're going in a pretty peaky time and I don't know. It's just cool, but sorry, bestie. I guess. Snooze, you lose.
It's in a real good spot at the moment. I'm trying to think what else is happening in the world or what I've read or...
What is happening in the world of Ray?
Not a lot.
Well...
Not a lot, really.
Well, I mean... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like other than like being ready for Perth. Not ready for Perth, but ready for Perth in like the whoa, let's fucking go. And then yeah, we've got this weekend to look forward to just because, well, it was back at the beginning of December, but that feels like a lifetime ago since I was last seen you guys in person. So we got that to look forward to, again, NBL and stuff like that, which I've never done. Then yeah, it's just Perth is all that I've got on my brain, and then it's footy season all of a sudden again, and then back to that kind of life of for me, being in Adelaide every second week.
Perfect.
Because I'll be at the footy every second week.
Yeah, perfect. I haven't even really looked. There was talk of another Project road trip to an away game, which last one was a time. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I heard lots of stories about that trip.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Really, all I've got at the moment is Perth this weekend, and got the boy and whatnot. But
the legend himself,
got the boy, and yeah, I don't know. I've set myself a few goals for this year, like personally, not so much professionally. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into them. Yeah, I just don't want to get my watch at the end of the year.
What do you mean?
So at the end of this year, if I make it to the end of this year, I get a watch from work because it'll be 10 years service.
Ah, gotcha.
And I'm like, I don't want the watch.
Yeah. I got to just near 10 years when I worked at Woolworths, and I know what people got for their 10 thing, and I was like, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to be at this place for 10 years. And I didn't. I changed. And then, yeah, I've been in a good, I like my job. I do. But what I want to do is not that. Do you know what I mean? Like, not that I don't want to do that. I like what I'm doing, but it's not what I want to do as a career, I guess you could say. Is that a weird thing to say?
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm very, very well financially rewarded for the job that I do. And I could do it with my eyes closed at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I can go to work and not really think about anything. Could just get through the day. But, there's a few other things. And as you said, it's just not what you want to be doing. It's not, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of things I dislike about my job, but that's the same with everyone. There's plenty of things I
like. Yeah, there's plenty of things that I like. And hey, that's not to say that for the dream of doing this all the time, there wouldn't be elements of that I hate. I would hate certain elements of it. But I don't know. There's always things you love and things you hate. Nothing is perfect. And I think to wrap around though, to like where we kind of got the question that we drew today, like the inspiration thing. I draw a lot of inspiration for how your mind works though, because I always thought I thought a little silly. I was always like, ooh, yeah, it's just me that thinks like this. But you think a very, not completely the same, but you have the same mindset as me in a lot of things of just like, oh, wait a minute, I found someone else that wants to do exactly this, and like stronger together, you know what I mean? In that sense of just like trying to do something. So I guess a lot of inspiration I draw from you without even actually realizing that I do.
Yeah, well, it goes back to the start of like surrounding yourself with unintentionally people that have the same mindset as you.
Company that you keep.
Yeah, I guess we've just wrapped that up full circles, that episode. That's gone like right way back around, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. I wasn't really expecting. We've done a lot of at the beginning of this show we did a lot of like deep and meaningful conversational type things, and then it just kind of went off into fucking shitstorm, and then we're just having a laugh, which is fine. I love that. But we haven't had one of these chats in a little while. Maybe it was
No.
needed without even realizing. It's just like it's the first episode of the year. So maybe it's just like we're in that kind of zone. We'll probably look back on this in a few weeks and be like, what the hell were we going on about? Why were we in such a sentimental mood?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
For sure. I don't know why I said it like that. Do you know what?
Very
Actually,
white, Ray. You're
do you
very
know what?
white, man.
Let's finish off with a bit of a laughy story that I've been absolutely teasing your best friend about for the last maybe week.
Oh God.
She started saying no.
She has not.
She said it the other day. And when she says she didn't mean to do it, and I've just been like, oh no.
No.
Don't do that. You can't say no like that.
No. I unironically started saying ancho.
I always say ancho.
And people are like, what the fuck are you saying? And I'm like, ancho. You're a bit of a naughty boy, ancho. I say it all the time, and I can't help it. I feel like we're doing a little bit of a love letter to We Meanwhile, but I don't care. I'm here for it. But I always say that. I do say senorita a lot too, but I always say aren't you all the time. And people are just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'll be like, oh, you don't know what I mean, don't you?
You don't know what I mean, do you? Don't you?
Yeah, who's a clever little boy? Is it you? Yeah. Or I just sometimes will just go, Daddy doesn't like that. I'm Daddy, by the way.
I'm Daddy, by the way.
Jesus Christ. I do it all the time.
I pick up sayings without even really intentionally starts.
I say it ironically at the beginning, and then it just becomes a part of my vocabulary, and I hate it, but I can't help it. But yeah, aren't you?
Sometimes I just say stuff I pick it up from somewhere. I don't really even know where. But then it just becomes part of my language, and people are like, why do you say that? The one that I've been saying recently, because it makes me laugh every time. So every time I'm feeling a bit shitty, I've been rewatching Ted Lasso. Yeah. Because it's my favorite show. And towards the end of the second season and the third season, one of the coaches, who's a grumpy guy who swears a lot, and he's just a grumpy old football guy, refuses to use a whistle when he's at training. So every time that the players are training and he wants them to stop, he'll just go, whistle!
Jesus. That was the loudest I've ever heard you, Ray.
Yeah. I tried to pull my microphone away as well.
No, I was fine with it.
Yeah, so he always yells out whistle when he wants them to stop. Instead of just blowing on the whistle, we just go, whistle! Whistle! So now every now and then I'll just say, whistle! Just because it makes me laugh and giggle a bit.
That's awesome. See, I do shit like that. Another deep cut. Again, it's from We Meanwhile, and I don't know why. But there's this, it's a fucking deep cut of this show. But there's this one episode where Lou goes, hi, boys.
Hi, boys.
Hi, boys. I do it all the time, and people have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, but I get it, and it's funny to me, so I just keep doing it.
Yeah, I
Bit of a funny boy, aren't I?
Ancho.
Ancho. Yeah. Daddy's funny. I'm Daddy, by the way.
That episode of We Meanwhile where she says, hi, boys, is one of the best. One of the best. We really need to make this a clip of our little love letter to him. With you saying that at the start. We'll tag him, see if we can get some love. See if we can get him on here.
We'll see.
How about we set that as the apples to oranges goal for the year, is to one day have this middle section of the screen have We Meanwhile in the middle of it. Jarch
and Lou, both, either. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Because we'll be clever little boys, won't we?
We'll be clever little senoritas, won't we?
Yeah. Ancho.
Ancho. My favourite Lou-ism is Toby's did.
Yeah, Toby's Tubi's did. I say that all the time too, and people are like, "What?"
Announcement of 2023. Toby's did.
Tubi's did. It's so good. That shit is so fun. They bring me so much joy. Seriously, they really do. Because again, I live alone. Sometimes it can get a little bit lonely, but I just put them on and I'm just like, I'm just hanging out, just listen to them talk about literally nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing, but it's great, and I just love it. But yeah, I can't help with hi boys.
Hi, boys. You got to get the shoulder shimmy in there as well.
Yeah, she like moves her shoulders and stuff. Because she took so long to get into it. People, if you don't know what we're talking about, I mean, they don't need any promotion from fucking us, but they are very funny human beings.
You know what? Actually, the big dog LDD, she's a lot of inspiration for me, actually. Because
she does
so unapologetically herself.
Yeah.
So authentic. And you know how the other week you said that I'm secure?
Yeah.
I feel like she is so secure in herself and is very, I draw a lot of inspiration from her just for letting herself be who she is and being silly and being okay with being the butt of the joke sometimes. And
yeah, because it takes thick skin to get the stuff that she gets thrown at her because that's not a fault of anybody, but some people couldn't take that because some people fucking roast the fuck out of her and she just laughs. She finds the funny in it. And I feel like that's a good way to be about life. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes you got to find the funny in the situations that kind of aren't funny. So, you know, I agree with that statement.
Yeah. So the big dog LDD, if you're listening, we should clip this bit up.
Yeah.
The big dog LDD, if you're listening, we love you. Come on the show one day.
We do. She's a bit of a clever little girl, isn't she?
Aren't you? We promise if you do come.
She's mummy, by the way.
We promise if you come on the show, we won't just quote you at you the whole time.
Well, Ray won't, but I might. Oh, shit.
Anyway, Apple's A2O on social media. Follow us, A2O podcast even. Follow us, like us, tell your friends about us, share us around. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Like, follow, share us, leave 5-star rating. Josh's Twitch and YouTube. Get on there, Josh Robertson 00. Watch all of our previous episodes and this one. Watch Josh's Twitch streams. Watch all of his content, and that's about it.
And I guess now check us both out on the Crowjet.
Yeah, and follow the Crowjet and get ready for a bigger year. And that's at Crowjet. Pretty easy one to remember.
You kind of nailed that one. I'm not going to lie, Ray. I like the way that's my favorite part of the show is just watching you do that. It's just because I can see this going, like, I've got to get everything in here. And then it's just like, just let it happen.
Yeah.
Let it happen. That's a good probably way to end this. Let it happen.
Let it be. All right.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh, Jesus Christ.